made in the context of an interlocutory application and did not determine the ultimate legality of the Hadid detention or the constitutionality of the emergency powers regime. It says the substantive issue remains before the court for determination. So Trinidad and Tobago, remember, yes, we are free to judge. We are free to say what we have to say. But coming to judgment with the courts, we need to be very careful because this is a decision that is being made by experts in this field of law. So when you hear the judiciary say, hey, X, Y, and Z is the case, and someone find that is not appropriate and a ruling to them, they have all the authority at their hands to appeal matters. That is the laws and the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago. So as we move into another story tonight, viewers, before we go into that story, it's a commercial break. Trinidad and Tobago, when I come back, we're going to tell you about the 7% at Real Dog financing, and we'll continue our news. We have a call. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program.
My friend, I do apologize. I do apologize for the hold.
Yes, no problem, no problem. I will hold. This program is important and great program, and I have to communicate with you.
Thank you.
That shameless, disgraceful, no good Joshua, crooked Joshua, you lend him your money with your good heart,
yes,
your hard work, your sweat, and lend him that money. And that hooligan is saying now that he hiding, he don't want to pay you. And you know why that is so, Mr. Said? We live in a lawless society. Police, if police used to charge people, there were consequences for these wrongdoings. You know, he would not have done that. He would have run and pay you, you know. And I could tell you about an issue 3 Fridays ago, the 3rd of this month. You had a young lady orchestrated, stage managed her kidnapping to assassinate a young boy, character and reputation. You know what I'm telling you? So when the police realized this girl stage managed her kidnapping, orchestrated her kidnapping, they said, boy, forget that. To date, and every media house had the issue on it. You know what I'm telling you? There were even threats on the young boy life.
Yes.
You know what I'm telling you? And every station put it up. Today, what is the finding, Gavero? What is the findings, Alexander? Why you all don't put it up, including the police terrorize the young man? Why you all don't put it up now on all the media houses? So they say, boy, that's the end of that. The girl says she kidnapping, that's the end of that. You know? But anyway, Gavero, you better continue the investigation because you'll have to account for the outcome of the investigation, you know. You have to get away, you know. And I telling you, that is why where we are today in this society. You what I know? And that young boy, if you know that young boy, I know, you know, very decent, upright young boy, you know, he's an engineer, you know. You are telling you, I can't say everything about him because anyway, everything was on the social media platform, every TV station, the media, everything, you know, very sadly, and no consequences for that young lady. Very sadly where we are. Mr. Said, God bless you. And the threat came from the organization she part of it. Very religious organization, and very sadly, so I know it's not a reflection of that organization she part of. This is an individual matter and so on. So I hope the family and her friends will take her for counseling. That is what she needs, counseling. And you know they're not doing it. That is what they should have been doing. Take that young lady for counseling. She's sick in her brain. Mr. Sai, great program, and God bless you. You keep up a great work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago Real Talk Financing is offering you 7%. Remember that? Nowhere in Trinidad and Tobago you are getting 7% on a fixed deposit. Remember that, viewers. Come on down to us. Set up a fixed deposit savings and enjoy the savings. Enjoy the savings, Trinidad and Tobago. You cannot go wrong with 7% on your hard-earned cash. You can't. No one beats us. No one. And very soon, Trinidad and Tobago, very soon we are going to be in Panama. I am hoping at the end of this week or midweek, I'm going to get my permit to operate a financial institution in Panama. Great things are happening at Real Talk. Great things. So don't miss out on this deal. citizens. So as we go back into our news tonight, the Office of the Attorney General knew since 2016 that there was no separate or bespoke specialty arrangement with the United States concerning the extradition of Jack Warner. However, the office failed to correct the courts and eventually made positive representation to the Privy Council that such an arrangement existed. High Court Judge Karen Reed has found. Now listen to this here. In a 71-page judgment last Friday, Justice Reed raised serious concerns about the conduct of the Attorney General Office under the then Attorney General Faris Al-Rawi. Now viewers, and expressed difficulty accepting explanation from senior counsel Douglas Mendez as to why the High Court and the Court of Appeal were not told the truth position. Now, by the time Warner case reached the Privy Council, she found the Attorney General had gone beyond failing to correct the record and positively represented that a bespoke specialty arrangement existed. The findings form a part of Justice Reed's decision to permanently halt Warner's extradition to the United States, delivering the former FIFA Vice President a major legal victory after more than a decade of litigation. Listen to this, eh? The judge found that Warner's constitutional right has been breached and ordered the state to pay him legal costs. Trinidad and Tobago, so hear this now. Hear this now. Come back to me, Director. Why is it that the state now have to pay Jack Warner when the then Attorney General failed to correct an issue? Why is it now that the states now have to fork out taxpayers' dollars? Why? This is my question. And for too long, the states had to pay finance for individuals where lawyers representing the state made mistakes on their part, failing to correct, failing to be righteous. Why is it now that the attorney or the attorneys can be sued for their fault and their mistake and their misrepresentation and their errors? Why can't they be sued? So now I'm wondering now, is Jack Warner going to own the treasury in Trinidad and Tobago because of the then Attorney General made a mistake and failed to correct it? This is according to the judge. The then Attorney General failed to correct the issues. So who paying for that? The state? It's time the president in Trinidad and Tobago unzip her mouth and come out in the public domain and start making some decisions that will benefit Trinidad and Tobago, instead of you zip your mouth and you sit down collecting money. For too many times, the states just have to spend taxpayers' money. Why? We the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago don't find it hard already, but we have to pay tax. While attorneys representing the states, bling blang, I really care what happened. The state go pay. Really? The state go pay? Right now we need medicine in the hospital. Right now we need fire trucks. Right now we need police vehicles. Right now we need ambulance. Right now we need good schools. Right now we need to pay teachers. Right now we need to pay PSA for back pay. Right now the road in a condition, water in a condition, tea and tech is being owed. But the state have to contribute now to Jack Warner for the mistake of the then Attorney General that failed to correct the issue. Why is this happening? Where's all the judges? Where's all the masters? Where's all the high-ranking attorneys for Trinidad and Tobago? When are you all going to come out and say the individual who represent the states and make an error, they should pay? Buck up on these slack lawyers we have in Trinidad and Tobago. Everything is the state, the state, the state. So what about the rights of our tax-paying citizens? They don't have no rights then. I tell you, I get sick when I read this today. A policeman do something wrong, on his fault, the state had to pay. Why? You mean lawyers and policemen are so dunce head they can't get their act together when they go before the judge? Says dunce head represented Trinidad and Tobago then. So my thing is now, is Jack Warner. Because the magistrate said the state have to pay, you know. So I am thinking now, is Jack Warner going to own the treasury in Trinidad and Tobago when his legal team decide to sue for whatever finance? Due to the lack of incompetent lawyers representing the states? And our taxpayers' money going down the drain? When is this matter going to fix? When are we going to put something in place that when you hear matters being lost by an attorney who representing the states for errors in document, they will have to pay? When are we going to fix this? So everybody come now, they're just milking the states and they're going along? Look, right now we have some road like the road from 1930 in Trinidad and Tobago. We have contractors paving the road like if they're paving the road with shovel. Is that what Trinidad and Tobago is all about? And we want to go into the 21st century? We want to go into AI technology? Trinidad and Tobago, nobody ever say it as it is like me, you know. Nobody is saying it as it is like me. It's sad, but it's a reality. Somebody had to step up and say something. You know who I just admire when making a decision? Justice Frank C. Passad. Let me tell you something. I just sit down and I just admire this gentleman. You know why? He takes his time and go through every paragraph. Every paragraph. Read, understand, look for the footprint, look for the layout, look for the evidence. So when he makes a ruling, bet your last dollar is a proper judgment you're getting. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. When we come back, Gonzal's concern about the data center plans for Trinidad and Tobago. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
True growth shouldn't make you wait. This month, Real Talk Financing is changing the timeline. Get up to 7% interest on a fixed deposit paid to you upfront. Real Talk Financing and Investment. Real results sooner. Call our Central or South branches today.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Welcome back.
We're looking for this individual, Harry Paul Joshua, last known address, 33 Harris Street in San Fernando. That is his last known address, Trinidad and Tobago. $10,000 is on his head. $20,000, my mistake. $20,000 is on for him. Anybody find him, they will find the car, bring it to us, and you're collecting $20,000 solid right here. One thing you don't do is play with Saieed. With the car, show up the car there. If you find this car, Trinidad and Tobago, look at it good. PCJ 8919. Find the man, we find in the car, and Real Talk Financing fixing the problem. Other than that, the price might escalate, and this time he might have to leave Trinidad. Don't know about the family, but something will happen. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, as we continue our program tonight, Opposition Chief Whip Marvin Gonzalez have accused the government of selling citizens a pie in the sky. Hear who's saying this, Trinidad and Tobago? Hear who's saying this, The man who told Trinidad and Tobago parents to carry their children one time for the month to eat macaroni pie. He's telling Trinidad and Tobago this. Now, this is in response to an announcement that the Memorandum of Understanding was signed to establish a framework for preliminary cooperation, due diligence, and coordination for a proposed 150 megawatt artificial intelligence infrastructure and data center facility. This is only a memorandum of understanding. Ask Marvin Gonzalez how many memorandum of understanding they signed when they were in government. How much, Marvin? Now, Gonzalez argued that the country's electricity grid lacks the capacity to support the government proposed construction to 2 AI data center. He explained that the construction of a data center can have a number of implications for the country. You know, Trinidad and Tobago, listen to Marvin after we go talk.
All of that is taking place in the United States of America, where there's a push against the establishment and the construction of data centers, given their economic implications, the implications on our electricity grid, on our water infrastructure, and other environmental hazards associated with AI data centers. We got up one morning to hear a major announcement by the government of Trinidad and Tobago for the establishment of 2 data centers in this country. And the people of this country must ask themselves, what would have triggered that? Because I recall when I served as Minister of Public Utilities, many of these companies would come knocking on your doors for the establishment of these centers, these data centers, AI data centers. And there was one fact that attracted them to Trinidad and Tobago: cheap electricity and cheap water.
But Marvin got a good deal there and he didn't take it. Cheap water and cheap electricity, and them and take it to better Trinidad and Tobago. But you're telling me now I had to carry out my children one time for the month? Marvin did not upgrade T&Tech, neither WASA, when he was the public utility minister, but coming to tell us now about the electricity and about WASA. Such a sad thing. You see now, Trinidad and Tobago, now that we are in the age of AI, now that we are in the age of artificial intelligence, now we are in the age of computers, we are in the age of robots. We need better facilities. Marvin could not think outside the box, hence the reason why Trinidad and Tobago remained like this. We are going into the age of solar panel now. Marvin's still thinking about 1940. So what did Marvin do now to enhance the electricity of Trinidad and Tobago? What? You see, we're looking for solution now. The blame game done. It's about the solution now. How are we going to fix this problem? Now, I want you to understand something. Marvin will say anything. He did not upgrade the TNTEC facility in Trinidad and Tobago, neither WASA. So here's what. With the memorandum of understanding now, there has to be plans, infrastructure. There have to be sit-downs and talks. So what about if this $5 billion is including, listen carefully, what about if this $5 billion is including a power grid next to the AI center? What about this if this $5 billion currency dollars is included in a pond next to the AI center so that they would get water? You see, Marvin didn't think about this when he was there. Marvin didn't think about digging dams to enhance the water in Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. Currently have thousands of acres of land all through Trinidad and Tobago. You go tell me no bright individual in WASA couldn't think about digging ponds like Navet Dam? Big dams. Oh, it was costing too much, and we back in the Stone Age. We remain right there. We remain in Stone Age. Now we get an opportunity. About 16,000 people sign up a petition. When Marvin Gonzalez told you to carry your child one time for the month, how come all of them sign a petition? And this is the problem we have in Trinidad and Tobago. You all understand the meaning of an MOU, a memorandum of understanding. Nothing is in concrete. For the 16,000 that signed up the petition or the 20,000, nothing is in concrete. You all didn't understand that? There are talks, still have to talk as how to maintain, how to supply, how to design, how to build the capacity, the space of land, the electricity the volume of water. All these talks have to sit down and talk. But Marvin won't come out and tell you that is what is taking place. It's sad. It takes a man like Saieed now to come out in the public domain and educate you. But I love doing it. I love doing it. Did we know that they are going to build a power grid to supply the AI with electricity? No, we didn't know that. All we know, we sent a petition. What the petition is about? Oh, well, you know, they want to build an AI center, but we don't want it here. When Keith Rowley said, we know of the government, where was the 16 to 20,000 people petitioning? Where were them? Marvin Gonzalez wouldn't come out and tell you that. It's sad now. So now, let me just remind all of this. So now TTP is serving documents to PNM officials. Nobody want to take it. Where the petition? Where the petition? PNM ministers come out and accept the document. Where the petitions? You see, I am still waiting for the enhanced details of the memorandum of understanding that was signed between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States, where it is concerning $5 billion. I am waiting for the fine prints. Not the big bold one where everybody could see. I am waiting for the fine prints. How Marvin are telling all about the fine prints? How Marvin are telling all about what is required and what they are going to put in place? How come he ain't saying that? How come Marvin ain't saying why he didn't enhance TNTEC when he was the Minister of Public Utilities? Because I will tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. When they hear current go and they come back in a whoosh, Some of us lost television. Some of us lost our fridge. Some of us lost our microwave. Some of us lost our washing machine. And it goes on like that. Let me tell you something. In this business, it's common sense, you know. Common sense and those who have power rule. That is why I am here 9 years down the road, enhancing your memory and opening your capability and your capacity to understand English. I've been telling you, carry out your children one time for the month. But one time TDPS servant document, Marvin saying not he. And you got PNM minister, yes, well this is for you too. You see Trinidad and Tobago, that is a do so I like so, you know. Now all the PNM ministers run and duck and hide when document is being served. Paul Cummins, as he step out the airport, Mr. Cummings, yes sir, you are served. So the rest of them who was in Trinidad, where were they? Let me tell you a secret. TTPS couldn't find them. Me about talking, you know, but this was the reality that took place in Trinidad and Tobago. This was the reality. So now hear this. Hear this. He warned that there would be reliability risk as a single large turbine outrage of 200 to 300 megawatts would cause an immediate shortfall, again risking blackouts. Listen to this. You can get this? So Trinidad and Tobago, we are out of time for tonight, but nevertheless, I just have fun, you know, educating you all, but the time is flying so fast. Viewers, remember 7% on a fixed deposit. You can't go wrong. I am Saieed Ali. We are saying good night to you. Until another night at 7 p.m., we go live.